Our next T-5 talk is Nick Orenstein, so let's give a quick round of applause.
All right, everybody, thanks for listening. Again, my name's Nick, and I'm a PhD student at USC, and this is some of my research that I'm doing at school. Distilling space water, looking for moonshine, essentially finding things. So framing this in the context of planetary defense, thinking about something like Carl Sagan said, all civilizations become either spacefaring or extinct. And so we have a place in the cosmos that we're only now able to look out and realize that we're not the dinosaurs, we're humans, we are the mammals. As a save yourself mammal, we will fend off the asteroids. Well, you know, I don't want to be stuck as the dinosaur here dead on Earth. What I think is more important is that we become like Spock and the Vulcans, a multiplanetary species that is able to live long and prosper. If you remember from the Star Trek lore, the Vulcans' home planet was destroyed. And so, you know, again, as planetary defense, we need to think about ways that we can leave Earth. And as we do this, we need to remember that water is life. It provides life as we know it, at least, and especially if we want to go survive out, you know, and have things to drink, have different rocket fuel is another, you know, useful thing. So there is water on the moon and Mars. It has been discovered by multiple NASA and other space agency missions. So these are just two kind of charts that show the moon on the top and Mars like heating up either soil or even minerals and squeezing space rocks for water. The water is out there. It can support us. It'll require a lot. 4 people for a year require 10,000 kilograms of water. So obviously you don't want to send all that. You want to be able to get it. And so if you send a robot off into space, you have shared autonomy where it's not just humans or robots, it's both of them working together for self-reliance away from Earth. Without, you know, so I envision a robotic furnace that heats up this, the water that's embedded in the rock and collects that and uses it for astronauts to drink. So you'd have a robot that went around and got the water, and then some storage unit that held the water. So there's 3 major types of furnaces: gas, induction, and electric. And electric is useful, but I think induction is better. Gas doesn't work because you're off in space. So induction is not magic, it's just the use of magnetic fields. And if you use something called the skin depth, you can send these magnetic fields a few centimeters under the ground, so you don't have to take all the energy to go pick up rocks and crush them and try to get the water out that way. You can just go over the rocks and heat them from below. Now if you look at the phase diagram, all the water is going to probably sublimate, so you have to design something that will be able to collect it, add it from a vapor to a solid. And I think that a copper still, this is where moonshine comes involved, is a good design. So the induction field would heat up the water, it would go over, capture it, turn it into ice, and then you'd go connect into a water storage unit that was at a temperature and pressure so that that ice could turn into water and drip down into the water storage. And then you have water for the whole colony. You can think of this like in Antarctica or, you know, anywhere else where there are, you know, maybe not just one big huge water tower, but it's all over the place. The space station recycles water. There's a lot of greenhouses that use gray water. There's certainly ways that you could send these robots a few years early. They get a lot of water for everyone. And then you just keep recycling it and maybe getting some new as you use some waste. Tests on going everywhere around the world. This is an example in Utah that you've maybe heard something about today about the Mars Desert Research Station. So there are people who are looking at systems like this here on Earth and studying the effects. So again, you know, one of the answers for planetary defense is to leave. And if we have the systems in place to survive on other planets with an industrial infrastructure, then we can do that either quickly and just send as many people as can fit in a Dragon, or if the big one doesn't hit for 500 years, we're already there. So it's time to boldly go together. This isn't Americans in space, it's humans in space. And people have been talking about this for decades. It's time to stop planning. It's time to start doing. Because all of what we've talked about is hard today, and that should not stop us from doing it. That should inspire us to do these things and continue going forward. So I'd like to, you know, gaze into the future with all of you and imagine a day where it is it is possible to be living off-world, and I hope to develop some of the technology that enables that so that I can go drink the space water one day. Thank you.